And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup. The Sparkling Tuna Cup number 114, your weekly dose of all things StarCraft, of open StarCraft. Whew, welcome. I'm of course ZvT with you and joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome. One little exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket, is gonna start again. Un momento. As looks like we did accidentally have someone pick the wrong race, so we'll have to switch things up. There we go, getting back to game one. But again, exclamation mark, be in the chat. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked. For those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, this is a weekly tournament. This is our equivalent of the ZvT Monday or Pigstar Cup or Monday Night Weeklies, except we've been running our tournaments for a lot longer, of course. This is the 114th week of STC. That's a lot of weeks, papi. It's a lot of weeks. That's a lot of tuna. That's a lot of sparkling. And here we go. We have our first series of the broadcast. It is going to be a ZvT, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have not quite a tuna, but another fellow animal. Oh, no. It is the Orange Terran player for 3D Clan. It is MilkiCow. Un momento. MilkiCow. Give us like an orange tinge. I'm just changing his, there we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the teal Zerg player, the teal Zerg player himself. It is GgMaChine. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is Gamba time. Predictions are open, place your bets on who you think will claim this series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our ZvT. Hey, when it comes to the rest of the brackets, we'll be discussing it after this series. There is a lot to get into. There are a lot of matches, a lot of series, and a lot to delve our feet into as well. Even some returning top players. We'll get there, of course. For the time being, we have our ZvT. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps of the map pool. It has more open bases, more open third, more open fourth base, shorter rushes by ground. Typically, aggression is favored, and this goes both ways, referring to Roach aggression or Ling Bane aggression from Zerg, but at the same time also referring to 8 Raxes from the Terran. So we'll see how intense we're going to be. Bearing in mind as well that MilkiCow is a bit of a diverse player, to the point where he is willing to mix in mech. We have seen him mech it up before, and we'll see if he does it again. Oh boy. Mech, of course, is a different beast coming into the latest patch and coming into this map pool as well, just because of the change to the Cyclone. So battle mech is not quite as viable, but mech itself is still very much so an option. But we'll get there if we do kind of head down that road and head in that direction. For now, we're settling in. SCV scout across the map. Overlord does poke in, checking the natural. As GgMaChine, he will check, he will confirm that we have a standard opener so far, and the Reaper is on the way. Otherwise, hope you all had a lovely weekend as we wrap up the weekend and head towards Monday. Hope you've all been doing well. Again, we had a lot of StarCraft after the weekend. We had KSL yesterday, we had Ducklings Open yesterday. Today we have, of course, the Tuna Cup. So we get into the Monday Night Weeklies tomorrow, of course. Be curious how the weather's been here in Australia. It's been insanely hot. It was yesterday, right? It was yesterday that was 40 degrees Celsius, which was lovely. It was summer is hitting hard, man. It's hitting hard. But we're okay. We're okay. We'll make it. We'll survive. We will survive. Meanwhile, we do have MilkiCow going for his third CC before Starport. Economic build here by our Terran player, followed by the Starport. So everything's looking as it should be. Nothing crazy so far. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Keep forgetting it's hotter over on that side of the planet. yeah. Like here, like Christmas time is like deep in summer. So, very nice catch as the Reaper barely gets away. Barely does get away. Does dip out. But yeah, Christmas is deep in the summer, so like the whole like snow motif isn't really a thing here. Obviously, Christmas is all about thongs, all our barbecues, all about surviving the summer weather. as MilkiCow does poke in. And pokes in is going to be zoned away behind this green 360 Banshee. So again, just very standard play here. The goal of these, the role of these Hellions is just to poke in, deny creep, and keep tabs on the droning and on any kind of move out, any kind of aggression from GgMaChine. Ideally, you don't want to lose these Hellions. They do play their role coming into the mid game, especially when it comes to the first 7-minute push. If you keep your Hellions alive, you can always morph them into Hellbats and actually help them support the tank-based move outs later on down the line. For now, they're getting a tumor here and there, and nothing too bad here as we rotate once again, looking for more tumors. Meanwhile, GgMaChine is going lair first. Sorry, Baneling Nest first into a lair. So very safe build, very, very safe. There's no reason to get a Baneling Nest this early on unless you're a little bit afraid of Hellbats. So Baneling Nest first, then by a lair, just really safe. This tells me that the lair is going to be delayed, so the lair is a little bit later. The upgrade's going to be a little bit later as well. Just hyper safe out of GgMaChine. As the Hellions are also doing a great job here at the 9 creep. Just rotating once again, getting another 2 tumors. Oh, getting 1. Yeah, just 1 tumor, threading the middle line. Queens are out of position. Drones, they do pull away in time. Whew. That was close. Yeah, that was close. As getting more active tumors. I think there's one active tumor here in the center and no active tumors on the left-hand side. So just 1 active tumor overall. So far, again, MilkiCow's done a great job at setting up for what? For the follow-up. 3 racks is on the way, building up into a 5 rack setup. He is getting there. And we'll see how aggressive he does plan on being. Ooh, we have more Raxes. More Raxes on the way. So again, 4, 5 in total. We'll see if he takes his gases at his 3rd. We'll see if he doubles down into an 8 Rax. For now. Banshees, they do move in. Cloak is a bit premature. There we go. Activates Cloak, moves into the mineral lines. We are already running out of energy on one of those Banshees, but 2 Banshees can one-shot drones, and he's going to get a handful of them. Gets 1. Gets 1, 2, 3 drone kills, 4 drones. Oh my god. 4 drone kills. Nice damage here by GgMaChine. Gets 4 workers, pulls away. Oh. Gets another. Gets 5 in total. Hellions are going to get surrounded though. Yeah, Hellions are trying to go for the dive, and a good chunk of them do get caught out. Yeah, so a bit of extension here from MilkiCow. Nice damage with the Banshees, but the Hellions were a little bit lackluster, and that was how many? That was 2. Okay, 2 Hellions going down. Does pull away. Oh, and GgMaChine, as he has been playing the role of the defender, and so far he's done an okay job. Again, he's barely got any creep on the map, unfortunately, but he does have an infestation bit first, before any other tech structure. So we're going Lingbane into Pits, into Hive Tech. So far, it looks like the plan is to skip Hydras, to skip the Spire, and potentially go pure Lingbane into Ultra. Now, we should be getting a couple of Infestors, especially if GgMaChine feels under threat. Infestors are going to be an option here to be safe, and to keep him safe and secure with those fungal growths. But for now, his goal here should be to rush into, oh, I was going to say Ultra. He is going for the Hydrogen. Okay. He is taking the Hydrogen. Oh, no! As MilkiCow does pull back. Does lose a Marine. And the drop rate will continue. Now, because this Hydrogen is so delayed, it does mean that anti-air is quite limited here for GgMaChine. It means that the Terran can drop in, pick away at the Lings, threaten the mineral line, and does get into the mineral line. Oh, does get a drone. Gets a Queen, not bad. 2 drones, a Queen. Does barely pick up in time. And so far, it's traded well. It's trading well. Because of the faster Hive, we're going to be expecting Hive upgrades, of course, but this is leaning a little bit more towards Viper Tech and more towards Lurkers. So we'll see the direction that GgMaChine does head in once the Hive is done. Meanwhile, 4th CC. 4th CC is on the way, so MilkiCow is not going for a 3-base all-in. I mean, by now we would have seen a push. So he's keeping his reinforcements back at home. His tanks, his Marines, Changelings do spot this as well. Changelings also confirm the 4th command center. Oh, but the drop will actually kill an expansion. Not bad. Northern base goes down. Oh. Medevacs pull away. GgMaChine is being spread thin. Does pick up a medevac. Gases are being taken. That will allow a second factory. Yep, the second factory is already up. Woodmine production has begun. And Hydras are revealed. And we spoke about it, right? So if we're seeing a hive with hydras, then we should be seeing lurkers. And there it is. Lurker den is on the way. That's going to be the big power spike for GgMaChine, is the lurker tech. So we'll see if we can get there. I believe MilkiCow should be the first to push. And there should be a window in time where he can move out before there are any lurkers. Yeah, speaking of, here he comes. So this is the first main push here for the game, from the game. Up until this point, it's just been drop play. So he moves out with the main army. He's setting up for the southern 4th. 5th base even. Okay, going for the 5th. The main does collapse in. Yeah, dragging some mine shots. The Hellbats, they hold their own. And MilkiCow is pushing in. He's breaking through. Where are the Banelings? Not enough. Yeah, there's not enough Banelings. We have 7 Banelings now rolling in. The Lings are a little bit premature. The base goes down. Very nice target firing. Oh my god. Does pick up in time, and MilkiCow, he trades insanely well here. Takes down the base, trades well against the Ling Bane. You can see how low these medevacs are. They're barely standing. 3 of them barely in the air. But MilkiCow, he has momentum. And remember, we spoke about this. There's a window in time where he can keep doing this and keep trying to break GgMaChine before lurkers. Lurker den is done, but the lurker upgrades are still in the way. So again, there's still that window before lurkers. So he gets 3 Banelings. We'll lose a medevac. Maybe even 2. Now, wouldn't mind they drop on the top side. Does split the word Banelings. Nice target firing once again. The Marines, they just stim on in. Uh-oh. Yeah, GgMaChine is racing on over. Dead underestimate the power of the drop. Lings are going down. Queen goes down. And the base shouldn't fall, but this is still just a lot of efficiency, a lot of value out of the Terran. As drops are continuing, and you can see GgMaChine is running out of supply, or he's dropping below. He's dropping down. Back. Mine shots are popping up. MilkiCow rallying towards the top side. What do we have to defend? 0 Banelings. No shots. 0 Banelings to defend? He can just stim and win. Yeah, there's no need to split, no need to spread. He'll just stim on forward, takes down the base, and he can just chase the army. He can just chase the army down. Yeah, Queens, they're falling one after the other. MilkiCow, he can keep pushing. We can see that GgMaChine is desperate, going for a counterattack. Going across the map. Meanwhile, lurkers have morphed in, or they're morphing in as we speak. Can he get them? There's 8. But chance to use. Down to 7. Sorry, down to 6 even. Yeah, 6 lurkers left. And GgMaChine, you can see he's barely holding the line here. If it wasn't for these lurkers, the game would be over. The game would end. As Ling Hydra would not have been enough. So, very clutch hold. Oh, I got out! That's MilkiCow. Yeah, finds out the hard way, goes within range of lurkers. He bleeds out half his army. What we should say, though, is the lurker count is still quite low. Oh. Barely gets away. But another expansion goes down. GgMaChine is stuck on 4 bases. He can barely afford his army. Oh, pushing into the planetary. Okay. We'll bring it down. Has enough Lings. Banelings do morph in. So better trades here for GgMaChine. Nice fight. Can he get into the mineral line? Oh, not quite. Oof. Doesn't quite get in. At the same time, neither storm into the main base. MilkiCow does notice. Is denied. It's barely denied in time. Scanning, checking for any kind of bird units. And we're in a very intense game state. It's very tense. GgMaChine, economically, he is struggling. He desperately needs another expansion. The drone count is decent, but remember, we're long distance mining, right? This is very inefficient mining here out of the Zerg player. At the same time, I believe his lurker count is quite low. Yeah, only 6. He still only has 6 lurkers. Speaking of 6, down to 5, down to 4, 3, 2. 2 lurkers left. Massive blunder there from GgMaChine. They're expensive, papi. And you can see MilkiCow is maxed. The Terran army is maxed out. GgMaChine, he does have the bank to morph in some lurkers. There we go. We have 11 lurkers on the way. That's all his money. That's all his gas. So we can still hold his own. Oh no! Oof. Gets my shots going off. Gets a Viper. One Viper left. GgMaChine, he at least does save the northern base. Oh god, no! The mine shots. The mine shots are popping off. Bad. But at least the lurker count is high enough. At this point, with 11 lurkers, he should be able to hold the line. He should be able to defend, preserve his bases, and recover. There are a lot of ghosts, that is true. MilkiCow getting caught out. He's out of position, bleeds out 2 Marauders. Ideally, you want to build up a Bio Ghost tank, a Liberator composition, and MilkiCow isn't there yet. In regards to pushing out into lurkers. Speaking of. Lurkers at 9 bases. MilkiCow, he's still only on... He's got 2 starports. Now building on more ghosts. Building on more. You know, big shout out to No Screen in the chat. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 8 months. 8 months in a row. God, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. Bearing in mind, there's still game 1, by the way. Still game 1 of the series. Ooh, as GgMaChine completely out of position, he gets distracted. He does react to the southern drop, but meanwhile, at the same time, the northern base is completely exposed. And there's nothing left to defend. There's nothing here. Which means MilkiCow can just keep pushing. Just keep going. Gets one base, he can go for the other. And go for another. Are the lurkers in the Nidus? They are. I was curious. I was like, where are the lurkers? They're in the Nidus worm. Another base goes down. Again, I don't think MilkiCow necessarily knows just how vulnerable GgMaChine is. Oh. Does go for counterattack. Does not get the planetary. Repairs it too good. Repairs it too good. Base goes in. There we go. Lurkers are revealed. They will defend. Oh, but these are some rough losses for the Zerg. Leading out more Hydras. Losing another expansion. That is what, 3 bases going down in less than a minute. Oh, that's a kill. Kill, not a cancel. Lurkers, they do get on top of the planetary. Now it's going to be MilkiCow's turn to be out of position. Okay, MilkiCow is out of position. Planetary goes down. A mineral line as well. Lurkers are coming in. Oh, lurkers have no support. Yeah, they have no support. Snipes will connect, and every lurker is going to go down. There's no way out of this. Oof. Yeah, there's no way out of this. Massive losses for GgMaChine. He does trade though. He does pick off a couple of ghosts. Okay. Uh-oh. We need a scan. Another scan. So this was a messy cleanup here from the Terran. Very, very messy. So on the one hand, he kills 13 lurkers. On the other hand, he bled out a lot of ghosts in the process. So we're getting messy. Getting very messy. MilkiCow, he does take a fresh base, bottom left. GgMaChine, we got to spend our money. It's got 3k in the bank. Going into ultras. Oh boy. Now these ultras are lacking upgrades. We have kindness plating on the way. We still don't have ultra speed. GgMaChine, I feel like we shouldn't be taking this fight. We gotta calm down. Calm down, bad. Ultras are an interesting choice. Now, when it comes to this kind of game state where there are this many ghosts, I do think that you're kind of forced to go into Broodlord Infestor. That is kind of the most efficient late game composition that Zerg can get. Going into Ultra like this has potential, especially if MilkiCow is a little bit too aggressive. Then you can try to surround and lock down the army. but it does still feel a little bit risky. Oh, it's friendly fire! Oh my god! He does drag the mines in. Ultras are revealed. They don't have the upgrades, and the Ultras, oh, the first one goes down. So diving in the Medivacs. At the same time, Lings, they're going to be dealt with. Planetary does hold. Gets a Ghost. Let's get a Ghost, pushing into the Planetary. Kind of splitting, just now finishing, and now here come the Mass Ultra. Gets a base. Gets the expansion. MilkiCow is racing on over. The Ghosts are out of position. And GgMaChine does get an expansion. It's time to base. Liberators are finally on the way. Liberation. Happy, and thankfully we have some infestors also in production. Just now popping out. And depending on the angle here, GgMaChine can surround this army. Depending on the angle. And it's a little bit lopsided. Snipes are popping off, but it looks like there are plenty of Ultras. Yeah, they're pushing through a nice bungle and the army's cornered. GgMaChine, he might barely have enough. He denies the base. Keeps chasing. We gotta keep going it out. Yeah, he can't quite keep pushing. There's just so many Ghosts. The orbital goes down. Once again, GgMaChine trying to force a fight. Corners the army, but there's barely any anti-air. Yeah, we just pick up. Just pick up and leave. Picks up and pulls away. GgMaChine has a fresh mining base. He just got up and running. There's a scan. MilkiCow, he knows. Queues up the Liberator. It's still very, very close here. Still very intense between the two players. If given time, if this base stays up and running, then GgMaChine can start to overtake. That is true. Start to. Anti-air is limited. There's, what, 2 Hydras with the army. Wait for the northern base. We're trading bases. Planetary will go down. Brings down the Planetary. Liberator denies mining. And GgMaChine pulls out. Dips in, kills the base, pulls away, rotates. So rotates back over. Lost an expansion himself, but the drones survived. That's what's important here, is that GgMaChine, he's been able to preserve his workers. I cannot say the same for MilkiCow. They're losing a lot of SCVs. You can see MilkiCow, he's reading a rotation towards the south side. Whereas GgMaChine, he's in the center. We've got to pick and choose where we headed. Links to the top. Ultras towards the south. And in a head-on fight, I do favor the Terran. We do see the MilkiCow, he has 15 Ghosts. That's a lot of Ghosts. And how many Ultras? 0. There's 0 Ultras. We have mainly Lane Bane Hydra. Nice EMPs. Yeah, very nice EMPs. There's 1 Fungal left. Hydras, they try to lunge in. Oh, the snipes! Oh my god. Mass snipe on the Hydra. More snipes popping off. A decent Fungal, but there's no follow-up. Yeah, there's no follow-up. Not enough Lings, not enough support. More Lings in production, but alas, MilkiCow looks like he has done it. At the same time, we're trading bases. But MilkiCow can keep pushing. Finally, he gets a mineral line. Drones do not get away. GgMaChine just doing everything he can to force his opponent back home. And MilkiCow turns around. Oh, he turns around. Things they're popping up. More Lings on the way. Again, I favor MilkiCow in a head-on fight. But he's being pulled apart here. He races back home to defend, bleeding out more SCVs. At the same time, GgMaChine is going for that southern base. That one Zergling, he's killing everything. Killing all the SCVs. Oh my god, Liberators a stack. Power bombs pop off. But the problem here is that MilkiCow has a massive army. As we mentioned before, in a head-on fight, MilkiCow will win, 100%. He will win the main fights, but only if he can get it. He's down to 9 SCVs. He barely has an economy. Meanwhile, GgMaChine, he double expands, top right and center right as well. He has 2 mining bases, and if given time, he can actually replenish his army. So 2 fresh bases. MilkiCow, he cannot stand by, he cannot stay idle. We got to do something about this. There's a scan. He sees. Yeah, there we go. Double scan. MilkiCow spots the bases. Up the frontal. Nice catch. Increases the army. Picks up a couple units here and there. Every unit counts. Nice scan. Spots the infestor. There's 1 more left. And because the Terran player is distracted, we're actually producing an army here. We have 24 more lings on the way. GgMaChine is slowly building up. MilkiCow going for the drop. Up! Might just hit anything. Might just to connect. GgMaChine wants to commit. Does want to commit in. Diving forward, gets a Widowmine. Widowmine goes down, there's 1 left. Goes off on the detection. And MilkiCow, he F2s. Yeah, he does F2. The job was rallied across the map, but he F2s back home. No! Keep going. Yeah, MilkiCow panicking towards the end there. Ooh, we have 8 lurkers morphing in. There we go, there's the unload. We get 1 expansion. Remember, there's still another. Pulls back. Oof. Again, we still have only 13 SCPs. Ah, no. It does feel like MilkiCow is taking too long. It feels like over time here, GgMaChine can just keep building up. Keep producing. He's now got a decent lurker count. Assuming he fights together, bearing in mind that the lurkers are left behind. So lurkers are defending on the south side. They're not going to be a part of the fight, not yet at least. As he defends top right. Yeah, he zones back the Terran. Defense top right. It's a double-edged sword. Because the main army for GgMaChine is towards the top side, it also means that there's no Ling Bane support. It means that if MilkiCow pushes in, he could potentially snipe every one of these lurkers. We'll see where he strikes. See how we engage. More bases here under control of GgMaChine. Expansions, more saturation. Oof, nice mine shot. Very nice. You know, Lings, they do rally past the Widowmines. They got 6 SCVs. Down to 8 SCVs left back. But MilkiCow does get another base. Okay. Oh, that one circling. Let's go. Now we have some ultras in the mix as well. You can see finally, as you mentioned before, now that these bases have been left untouched, GgMaChine, he now actually has a high army supply. For a long time, for the past like almost 5 minutes, he didn't. But he's slowly now eclipsing the Terran. Lings, they do get into the main base, going for production, forcing response out of MilkiCow. So let's force a reaction. At the same time, lurkers are on the high ground. Oh. Oh my god! Yeah, man. Oh no! He throws everything away and runs into the lurkers. Face checks up the ramp. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, at the same time, lurkers, they face check the ghost. No detection. Every lurker goes down. Okay, that was a better trade for the Terran, for MilkiCow. Picks off every single lurker. Oh, nice EMP, but there's still one infestor left. Okay, EMPs do land, and no more fungals. Snipes the expansion. Command center does go down. All in all, that was still a better fight for MilkiCow. He was able to snipe every single lurker. He was able to EMP the infestors. It's going to take quite some time for them to gather energy and be useful. There's a window. And he does get towards that northern base. GgMaChine, he responds with everything. This space is left completely exposed. Remember, typically we'd have lurkers here to defend, but they were just killed. Scans, does find the infestor. Finds one, finds an empty base. GgMaChine is racing over. He has Lings at least to defend. Oh my god, never mind. Brutal connection. He did have some awkward stutter stepping there, so did miss that volley. Hatchery survives. Another Medivac! No! Get out of here! Lose one! One full Medivac goes down. MilkiCow. That did slip up. A little bit distracted. He will get an expansion. But he'll lose the base. Yeah, he'll lose the CC. Bottlenet is going to go down. Again, we've been messy, Pappy. Like, oof. Phone connects, and this is going to be the final army here for GgMaChine. Sorry, for MilkiCow. Going to be losing almost everything. Medivac goes down. He's lost his bases, his mining. 0 economy remaining for the Terran. And GgMaChine has done it. GgMaChine, he has now done it. It's been a very intense back and forth here. 32-minute game one. There were times where, honestly, MilkiCow, he almost ended the game. I'm still thinking about that moment when he out-traded the Ling Bane when there were no lurkers yet, and when he took down this northern expansion. And we spoke about it at the time, if you remember. It was like, what, 20 minutes ago? But it was when MilkiCow went for his main push. He broke 2 bases. He was moving in, but then he backed off. He didn't realize there was nothing to defend, whereas he could have killed another expansion and even denied the lurkers. But GG gets called. GgMaChine cleans up the final army, and GgMaChine will take game number 1. Whew, GG, well played. A very chaotic, a very intense back and forth here. Again, both players were even you can see they were fraying towards the ends, towards the south side, the top side, in their defense and their aggression, and things were very messy towards the end. Whew. But GG, well played. Congratulations. GgMaChine does take a lead, but remember, that was only game 1. Now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting ready for game 2. Game 2 is going to be on where exactly? We're about to find out. Just catching up in the chat. Here we go. We're getting into our next game, getting into our second game of the series. You're going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. It's spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the Orange Terran player, with the Orange Terran himself representing 3D Clan. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounce back and force the ace match. It is MilkiCow. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Teal Zerg player, the Teal Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0. It is GgMaChine. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. Again, a very intense game 1. It could have gone either way. There were better moments for MilkiCow. There were other better moments for GgMaChine. Again, things are very chaotic, very intense, very frazzled between the two players. And in the end, the Zerg player barely took the lead, barely took the game, and now we'll see if we can even force the ace match. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a much larger map of the map pool, much larger map, much more defendable map as well. It's going to be a little bit easier for the Terran player, for example, to build up towards a 4 and 5 base economy a little bit more freely. At the same time, because of the longer rush distance by ground, we might even see players slow down a little bit more and tech up a little bit harder instead. We'll see. Also, because the map is a little bit larger, it does mean that Mutaplay is a viable option. Going to Spire, going to Mutaplay, that is going to be an option here for the Zerg player. I don't really know if GgMaChine is really one to play too much with Mutas, though. He might just embrace Lingbane Hydra again. We'll see. We got options back. I would say straight up off the gate, though, that aggression is not as favored here, so referring to 3 base all-ins, early roach timings, Lingbane all-ins, 8 ranks as well. In general, because the map is so large, these timings are going to be harder to pull off and easier to defend against. So we're expecting a longer game. Now we're selling in Hatchcast Pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, MilkiCow going for his own Racked Expand. Does hunt down the Overlord, not bad. Bearing in mind that MilkiCow did actually skip his Reaper, so no Reaper, which allowed him to hunt down the Overlord. No SCV Scout either, so is being greedy himself. Cutting corners. Does cut some corners, looking for another Overlord. He shouldn't find one though. Does poke in. Pokes in and behind this, going for a 1-1-1, going for a delayed third base. Okay, a much more aggressive build this time. And remember, he's denying vision, denying scouting. Now with a 1-1-1, this does typically mean we're gonna be committing a little bit harder here into Hellion Banshee. Technically, we could see like a fusion core behind this going into BC production, but this is gonna be a much more committed build as we are delaying the third base quite heavily to pull this off. Ooh, Hellmat push. Okay, so now we see why. Now we see why we're committing as hard as we are. Sweet candle box. But we can see why we're committing here. It's going to be a reactored Hellion into Marauders into Armory into Hellbat push with medevac support. So very committed here on 2 bases. And remember, the first Overlord was sniped, so GgMaChine, he sees nothing. He's rushing into a fast lair. Oh my god. That's what a 3:33:20 lair timing. I mentioned earlier, gases are being taken. GgMaChine, he's trying to go into Mutaplay, which means he has no banelings. He has a lack of lings, a lack of queens. GgMaChine, he is vulnerable right now. He's being so greedy tech-wise. Oh boy. Armory's almost done. The armory is on the way. It does look like GgMaChine is trying to go into Mutas, but now is not the time. Not against this, but he doesn't know. He only sees the Hellions. And here we go. Marauders are on the way. More Hellions to reinforce. So far, GgMaChine is still in the dark. There's the Spire, as you mentioned. Like, his build did screen 2-base Muta. And that means he has so much less to work with. As he's spending money on his gas, on his lair, on his Spire. Less so on Link Queen. And here he comes. Here he comes. Diving on the queens, locking them down. He gets one. Oh. Clutch transfuse. Gets a transfuse off. The queens, they should fall. Hellbats are morphing in. And there's nothing to defend. There's nothing here. There's three queens, and a couple of banelings morphing in. We'll see if they can finish. Oh, they might. He's going for them. Yeah, he's going for the banelings. They will not finish. It's going to be closest too. Zero banelings. The boys are pulled into the Hellbats. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. 6 drones go down. More Hellbats are waddling in towards the main. The queen barely gets away. No, doesn't even. Pulls off an injection. We have 2 more banelings being morphed into the main. They're being morphed into the main base. Oh my god. That's 20 drones. There's no way out. 20 drone kills. 20 drones go down. We have some banelings. Nice splits. Yeah, nice last second splits. Banelings, they can raise the army. But there's still too much. There's too much, Darren. Too many Hellbats, Pappy. Even the Liberator shows up. There's no way Tayer. GG gets called, and we are going to game 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. Again, this was almost a blind counter to the 2-base Muta. Winding it back a little bit here. GgMaChine, he was blindly going into 2-base Muta, 320 layer timing, taking his gases, rushing to the Spire. Because of that, all his money is being spent on tech, all of his money is being spent on building up into Muta play, which meant less queens, less lings, later Baneling Nest, less of a defense against that all-in. Against the 2-base all-in. So very nice read here by MilkiCow, bearing in mind that he didn't scout, by the way. Like, MilkiCow didn't know what GgMaChine was doing. He was just assuming that he would be greedy. He's like, hey, I'm sure they play on the ladder. He's like, you know what? There is a higher chance that we see Mutas on Winter Madness just because of the map. That's why we brought it up at the start of the game. There's a higher chance of this happening. Let's just gamba. And hey, gambled well. Did gamble well. And now we're getting into the ace match, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Title Citadel. Oh, as we should fix up the nameplates. Un momento. Fix the map back. There we go. We have the Teal Zerg player. The Teal Zerg player himself losing momentum in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back, and we'll see if he can make it through into the next round. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the orange Zerg player, the orange Sharon. The orange Sharon player representing 3D Clan. It is GgMaChine. It's good to know high-level players die to the same thing as me. I mean, bearing in mind that it was almost a build order win, essentially, where we had a 2-base all-in up against 2-base Muta. As we mentioned before, 2-base Muta is more common in Winter Madness, but and all-ins are less favorable. But remember, another big part of why that all-in was a success, why MilkiCow was able to punish GgMaChine, is because the denied Overlord scout, right? The Overlord was sniped early, which meant that there was 0 scouting information, and that's on GgMaChine. For him to be denied scouting but still take that risk and still go into Muta play despite not knowing what was going on. There's a world where maybe he goes for a Link Scout, and maybe he sees the reinforcements, maybe he sees the move out, maybe he slips into the main base. There's a chance of that happening with Lings, definitely, but that would be the only chance. Would have been the only chance. Otherwise, we're settling in. Welcome to Title Citadel. Title Citadel is another larger map in the map pool. I will say that the bases are very spread out on this map, and that does make it difficult to defend, as you are very spread thin, and trying to defend your 3rd base, your 4th base, your 5th base, it can be quite difficult here, even more so than Ruby Rock, for example. Oh my god, we're going for a Roach Rush. Meanwhile, GgMaChine, he's done taking it. He's done taking it lying down. Now he stands back up. He's going for the Roach Run, going for the early Roach Rush. And now the turns have tabled, and now it is on the Terran player to scout. So the turns have tabled. The Reaper does survive. It heads out across the map, but again, the scout is delayed. Moves in with the SCV. Queen is in position. Queen does nice scouting. Does for the, yeah, he knows. Yeah, he knows. Immediately bunker is on the way. So that was a very crucial scout for MilkiCow. He saw what? He saw nothing being produced from larva. He saw empty larva, which would never be the case if you were droning. And now he confirms. Now he has full confirmation, but again, he noticed earlier with the idle larva. So the bunker is ready, and MilkiCow should be fine. He should be fine here. Now, these roaches will maintain low ground control. They'll have control of the low ground, control of the natural, and basically MilkiCow is ready to lift. He's ready to just lift, give up on the natural, and defend his main. That's why the bunker's on the high ground, not on the low ground. It is insanely difficult to defend on low ground here, especially with how wide and how open the natural is, so it's not worth it. Not worth it. Just defend on the high ground, lift up your CC, and then break out. We have a 3rd CC behind this, so MilkiCow is going for a follow-up. Meanwhile, we can see that GgMaChine, because he got scouted, he's not all in. He's going for a Roach Rush, but he's droning. He's droning up. He should be expanding behind this as well. There's the 3rd. So from here, we're macroing. The aggression has failed, and we move on. Those roaches, they do threaten the natural. They do pick off some SCVs. Yeah, this is on MilkiCow. He does leave a couple of SCVs on low ground. That's going to be 3 dead SCVs. The Cyclone will eventually help break out. Oh. Then we can continue. But yeah, that was a little bit greedy of MilkiCow to leave some workers on low ground. So it did lose extra SCVs. But otherwise we're building up. Double EVA chamber, this should be for +1 range and +1 carapace. We should be embracing initially Roach Ravager, and then I would imagine, I mean, we have a choice to make. Either we commit into Roach Ravager into 1-1, then 2-2 upgrades into like a heavy Roach Ravager 2-2 timing, or we switch after +1 range into +1 melee into Ling Bane Roach Ravager into the mid game. We'll see. Ling speed is already on the way, so we're already working towards that transition. Already getting there. Yo, shout out to the tuna. Ah, beautiful. So now MilkiCow poking in, turning away. We can see we're not even getting +1 range, so we're just making a faster transition out of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane. Going for an early infestation bit, interesting. We'll see if this is for safety infestors or if the plan is to rush into Ultra Tech. It's very tech heavy nonetheless. To get into the hive this quickly. As the game is still stabilizing. We are indeed getting safety infestors. Okay, so 2 safety infestors. Let's go. Nice drop out of the Terran. Gets an Overlord, gets a drone. Oh no! Ooh, does not get away. Bit of miscontrol there at MilkiCow. He had lifted up, he had saved his units, but he stuck around to heal the Marines. So was stuck on a move there. There's the fast hive, and again, as we mentioned, there's a 7-minute hive timing very early. I would imagine the goal here is for an earlier Ultra Cavern, but that's so expensive, and MilkiCow is pushing here and now. He's going for a 7-minute push. The goal here is to break the 4th base. Comes down to the fungal. Can he land it? Oh! Ooh, does crazy army, not bad. Catching out half the Marines. Yeah, gets one half, but can he get the other? Not quite. Not quite. But last will force a pickup. And GgMaChine will hold. Whew. He does hold on. Drop into the main base. Do we get eyes on the would-be hive? Not quite. It doesn't spot the hive. Do we pile? Ah! Oh. Doesn't quite land. But crucial here that the hive was not scouted. The infestation bit wasn't scouted either. So MilkiCow is in the dark. Oh, going back in. Behind this, he's A-Raxing, correct? Yes, so 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in, you can see here, no add-ons. No add-ons on these 3 extra Raxes. It is a 3-base all-in, no gases here at the 3rd base either. The Terran is committing. The Terran is committing, and we are rushing into an Ultra Cavern. This is a little bit too greedy for MilkiCow. He needs as much Ling Bane as possible. So I meant to say it was greedy for GgMaChine. But he needs as much Ling Bane as possible. MilkiCow, he's committing to his all-in. He's rallying. And GgMaChine is in danger. He will get 1 tank. 1 tank goes down. MilkiCow is rallying. Oof, nice fungal. But is there a follow-up? Yeah, is there a follow-up? The Marines, they just stand their ground. They just tank the fungal. Going for the roaches. Another tank volley goes off. And you can see that MilkiCow is breaking through. Yeah, he's breaking through. Breaks through the roaches. Getting into the Ravagers. We have one Ultra on the way. Let's go. Can he make it? Can he make it? The Queens are coming in to support. It's close. Clutch Transfuse. Oof. Losing almost every single Ravager. One Ravager's left. The base is under fire. And MilkiCow is still going for the kill. Bearing in mind these Ultras that won't have upgrades. They're going to have 1-1. Gets within range. Lands a bile. Ooh, gets a final tank. Barely gets the final tank. But he will lose every Roach Ravager in the process. Every single Roach Ravager. Another tank arrives. And the rally is just too much. The rally is too much. Yes, we have an Ultra, but remember the Ultra's lacking upgrades. The Ultra can be targeted down and is targeted down. The Ultra's made out of paper. Ah, no. And again, unfortunately, it was just lack of information, lack of scouting. Again, as we mentioned, this is a 3-base all-in out of the Terran. And GgMaChine just happened to be rushing into Ultra Tech. Wasn't quite worth it. Kindness plating is done in 10 more seconds. Okay. Can he survive? It's finishing up. Is kindness going to be enough? Oh. Chasing the army. Nice round. Okay. Nice round does force a pickup. We have a couple of infestors on the way. Now, we're in a really weird game state. Now, I do still favor MilkiCow. He did get a 3rd CC behind this, but all the tech is late, right? All the tech is delayed here. He doesn't have 2-2. He has +2 attack on the way, but not +2 defense. Bearing in mind, his gases are very late. His factory is very delayed. So the army here is very low quality, right? It's a very low quality army, Marine, Tank, Marauder, because the game was never meant to last this long. And you know what? GgMaChine, he has Ultras. And the upgrades are finishing up. He has kindness plating. He's now working on 3-3 upgrades as well. So because of this, GgMaChine is going to have a higher quality army than MilkiCow, but the supply is still heavily in favor of the Terran, as he has had the better economy. Right, he was able to kill a base. He was able to cripple the economy here of the Zerg. So GgMaChine, yes, he has upgrades. Yes, he has tech. Technically, the composition here should be better, but the economy isn't there to sustain it. That's what's killing GgMaChine here, is his lack of economy, as even though he survived, he still lost the expansion and still lost his drones. Nice catch, gets a full medevac. Okay, nice start. Now, if given time, GgMaChine will outscale the Terran, only if given time. Like, drop play can excel here, but we see some of the drops are denied. Army does stem in. Nice fungal. Okay, very nice fungal. Just an expansion. Hatchery goes down. Ghost production has begun. Ooh, is there only one eBay? There's 2. We're forgetting +2. Ah, MilkiCow, he's a Byun fan. He's forgetting +2 armor. I mean, I say forgetting, he doesn't really have the money for it, but the upgrades are lopsided. GgMaChine, he's catching up in supply. Oh, she's a hit the southern base. Can he bring down the planetary? Oh no, the infestor. Oof. Infestor goes down. Planetary does survive. That was an expensive loss here for GgMaChine. Going for the gold. This gold base should never get up and running, but I mean, he's going for it. Does cause a distraction. Hopefully it does cancel in time. I say that we have some ultras to defend, but here come the snipes. Oh. Yeah, snipes pop off. Mind shots as well, getting 1, getting 2 ultras. Oh my god. Does barely hold on to the expansion. It's on 27 HP. Saves it, just barely. Meanwhile, sorry, GgMaChine is out of position. Another hatchery is going to go down. Just one Marauder. One Marauder needs to drop in. A nice fungal, catching up both ghosts. Ghosts are going down the powerbomb combo as well. Okay. GgMaChine. Okay, nice moves. Again, crucial. Saving the space is huge. Like, he has such a better economy now. This entire time he's been stuck on 3 bases. Now he has a 4th base and there's a goal base at that. That does help him recover. Again, the space, this should not have happened. And there we go. Finally, it is denied. GgMaChine desperately needs a 4th expansion. He needs a 4th base. And this is where, if you remember at the very start of this game, we spoke about how spread thin you are defending, right? The bases are very spread out on title, and now this is affecting GgMaChine. Oh no! Drones, they rally into their deaths. And that's going to be what? 20 drones going down. Massive pickup. Takes down 20 workers. Desperation here, going for a massive counterattack. Does catch some Marines. Maybe a ghost. Nah, not even. Get some SCVs at least. But if you recall, earlier we spoke about how, if given time, GgMaChine could outscale, and he did get into Infestors, Vipers, Ultras. Like, he has been taking some very impressive fights, but despite that, this entire time, he never retook his 4th. The 4th base has never been taken. We do see instead MilkiCow taking the gold base himself. There's just no economy here. These Lings, they got more damage than they should have, true. But MilkiCow's still up on 60 SCVs plus mules. He just needs a 4th. He needs a 4th base back. He needs money. Uh-oh. As now he's aware of the gold. The pressure is now on the Zerg player. Cannot let this get up and running. Planetary will finish. And Liberation has arrived. That's a lot of Liberators. There's no good answer to this, not yet. MilkiCow can go for the kill. Decent fungals. Fungals, they catch up the Marauder. Snipe's going to be popping off. Fungal not goes. Oh my god. Very nice fungals catching on almost every single ghost. This is the best fight that GgMaChine could hope for. Catching out the ghosts, the Marauders, rushing on in. But the ultras are so low, and the planetary will kill 4 or 5 of them. Oh my god. And again, that was the best fight that GgMaChine could hope for, but it still was not enough. It just comes down to the economy. It comes down to the all-in from earlier. Remember, once that 4th base went down for the first time, it just never got back up. GG, and MilkiCow will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to MilkiCow. Again, he committed into his 3-base all-in, and we saw that GgMaChine was just being a little bit too greedy as a response. If you recall, I mean, it did start with the initial Roach push and the Roach rush into what? Into a fast infestation pit, into fast hive, into fast ultras. And you saw that even though the ultras allowed GgMaChine to survive and to elongate that game, it did not allow him to defend against the 8 racks and to defend his 4th base. The 4th base still went down, he still could not defend, and he could not maintain an economy. GG, well played. At the end, that is what it came down to. But congratulations to MilkiCow as he will advance on, and now we can finally catch up on the bracket. What's happening? What's been